Well, we're going to zoom in now on the kind of politics behind Modi's visit to Paris. And for that, we'll turn now to Garima Mohan, who is a senior fellow in the Indo-Pacific program at the German Marshall Fund in Berlin. Thank you very much for joining us, Garima. So can you start by telling us what's the significance of Modi being here specifically for the July 14th Bastille Day military parade? What message are both leaders really hoping to communicate with his presence?
I think this is extremely significant to have Prime Minister Modi on Bastille Day, which is such an important symbolic day for France. This particular visit also commemorates 25 years of France-India ties. And in a way, it's also looking forward to the next 25 years and really planning what these two partners wish to do. For India, this is significant because France, as you mentioned, is the second largest military supplier, but overall is a very important strategic partner for India, not just in Europe, but also globally. The India-France relationship is historic. There's a number of ties the two countries share. There's deep trust in France, in New Delhi. And this is reciprocated as well. We've seen that in the personal camaraderie between President Macron and Prime Minister Modi, but also in the important place India occupies in France's Indo-Pacific strategy. It's an important partner for France in multilateral forums on maritime security, in the Indian Ocean, working in third countries. The list is very long. So I think this is a good time to commemorate this visit, especially as it follows on the heels of Prime Minister Modi's visit to the US, which also resulted in a number of important takeaways on defense and technology for India.
More specifically, Garima, you kind of hinted that that India is an important ally for France in the Indo-Pacific, but what really are their kind of mutual goals and objectives as far as that region goes?
There are quite a few mutual goals and objectives that both countries share. First of all, they have a shared assessment of the threat posed by China in the Indo-Pacific. So particularly in the Indian Ocean region, which is India's neighborhood and Europe's backyard as well, extended neighborhood, we can say France is an extremely important player in the Indian Ocean region, historically has been important there. And there, India and France are aligned on how they see the major challenges, whether it is conventional threats from China or non-traditional security threats from climate change, on maritime security. A number of these issues they sort of see eye to eye. Also in terms of working together when it comes to dealing with challenges in the broader Indo-Pacific, for example, in the Pacific Islands, etc. I think India and France have really built a deep level of trust. I think the only sort of stumbling block so far has been India's position on Ukraine. But here too, I think France has more leverage than any other partner in Europe to talk to India and to work with India and also help India as it tries to decouple from Russia, particularly in the military sphere. So both at the broader strategic level, but also in the nitty-gritty of the Indo-Pacific. Of course, let's not forget that India is a very important market for French companies. And there's been a lot of cooperation, India and France working together in third countries, in South Asia, in Africa, which is also an interesting way of, countering Chinese influence perhaps in the region through infrastructure projects, development projects. So in a way, these two countries share a lot of goals, both long-term strategic as well as in individual policy areas.
Garima Mohan, there's so much to say about this issue, but unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. Thank you very much for joining us here on France 24.
Thank you for having me.